Hi everyone, welcome to the Global Mindset University and also ServiceNow Star. Welcome everyone. So today we're gonna start deep dive into the ServiceNow Service Catalog. This is something really interesting. We're gonna go ahead and start from that. And welcome everyone who are joining here in ServiceNow YouTube channel and as well as the ServiceNow Facebook page. So today's topic, we're gonna talk about some of the tips and the tricks that you can use in Service Catalog. So with that, we just go ahead and start. I am in my ServiceNow PDI, which is what we call it, the personal developer instance. As you can see, it's right here. So in my PDI, I'm gonna go ahead and find. So, some of the tips and tricks here we can look at. So if you go to the catalog, so for those of you who are new to the service catalog, basically what this service catalog do is it is where you can have different catalog items for your internal users or could be for your external users as well. So they can come and order whatever catalog items that you have. Let's go ahead and see some of the items that we have here in ServiceNow before we deep dive. So as you can see right there, different kinds of catalog items. Alright, if we scroll further, there is a module called Service Catalog. There's here record, open, record. There's an items over here. There's catalog definition. So what is catalog definition is basically this one of the module where mainly developers spend their time creating an items. Okay, these are the items that I created. So if you want to create a new item, you're just gonna go ahead and open maintain item. So it's called manage. You can manage goods and services as well available to the customer that you have from the service catalog. My content items, your content items. Now let's go ahead and open one of the item here. For example, maintain item. If I go ahead and open a new record for catalog over here, it's just gonna take some time to open, but we can go ahead and give it a name for that catalog item, what the name that it will be. So the name is basically, it is a short description to display for the item. So it's a short description. For example, here we can say cat. I'm gonna say a very short here, for example, let's go ahead and check. It's my iPhone. Okay, I want to make sure. So that's the name that I have. And as you can see right here, most people may not realize that the application for catalog item is under the global application. So that is the customer service here. Customer service. So if you scroll here, it's a preview this record. So the application here is under customer service. So for the catalog item, you can create it in different application, but the variables will be on the global. I'll show you that one in a little bit. So this is active. That means it's going to be available. And then you have the catalog right here. It is a key. I can unlock it and also add what catalog that I have. In category, if you want a users to be able to search for this item, we can add it to a given category. Okay, to a given category. So there are a couple of sections here. The first section we have is the item detail. So the item detail is primarily about the item, right? So the item has a couple of things.
it has the short description and the regular description. So right now on the short description, we are going to put in we're going to put in iPhone and SE. And in the regular description, well, the short the short description is only where the short description are, but the regular description is where the longer or shorter description is. Right now we're gonna put in 64 GB and black in color. Then we're gonna click insert or edit image, which means you get to edit the image or insert one. And also there's also insert and edit link. So there's also remove link and insert video and lots of things like align center and align left or right. So when you do them, it changes like align left, align center, and align right. Right now, let's keep it to align. Let's keep it to align center right now. Now we're going to go to process engine and go to flow. And we're gonna click look up. And right now it brings us to here. Well, we don't really need that one. Now let's go to the workflow. If we click look up using list, just the blueprint, a lot of things. Like, yes, so we are not gonna really use it right now.
Perfect. Yeah, so like Shadi say, with this section, which is the process engine, so this process engine is basically for this catalog item, what are the engines that you have? Let's say the flow. If you are using a flow designer, so you can select the flow that you have. That's a flow designer, a lookup. And then if you have any lookup, any flow designers that you created, you can add them here. So I don't have here, I haven't done any, so I didn't add them there. And when you come to the workflow, so again, workflow, it is a process. It's a process, step by step, from one step to the other, showing you for a given catalog item from starting from the request. Let's say it could be requested from the beginning and it goes all the way down. So that's what it's showing us. And now picture. Under picture section, we can add icon. If you want to add an icon, we can add an icon. There is also an option to add just the picture of that item. So as an icon, if you want to add an icon, you can go ahead and choose. There are supported icon types like JPG, PNG, BMP, and GIF as well. GIF image you can add as well. All of those cool image types you can add. Awesome. So pricing wise, like I said, this catalog item, you can add a price. So you can make the items in a price by adding the price over here, or you can omit the price in the catalog not to be shown. You can click right there, and you need to also, we can also set some of the portal setting. For example, the request methodology. Are they going to order it, or would they gonna request it or submit it? So it would show, like for example, order, they can order. I prefer usually with the request. So with the request, you have this add to the cart and also hide quantity. If you wanna hide quantity, you can go ahead and check that, because this is a request. You see, there is a difference between order and request. Let's say you have an iPhone, you want to order it, right? So you're gonna go ahead and click that one, order. So for order, you need add to the cart, you need to have quantity. How many iPhones do you need? Okay, and also you will also need the delivery time. When is that going to be delivered? But if you are requesting, let's say request for a given, not an item, not an iPhone or some other record, so you can use a request and submit. You just need to submit it. That's why when I select request those two, which is add to the cart and also hide quantity, will automatically select it for me. Perfecto. So that's what the portal setting looks like. And we also have some UI type here, like the update, copy, if you want to copy this catalog item. And also you have try it, if you want to try what it looks like. Later on, we're going to save it and then try it. If you want to delete it directly, you can delete it. And there are related links here, which is the item diagnostic, and also, once we save, we have the variables. Variables are these are primarily whatever fields you are going to create. Let's say the type, questions in order. All right, let's go ahead and save first our item that we created, the catalog item, which would say iPhone. Now I'm gonna go ahead and you have two options here. You can update and you go back to the list view, but I'm gonna go ahead and save this item, this catalog item, and I'm gonna scroll down. Now I can create my first variable to this item. Let's go ahead and create the item variable here. So if I click new, you will see the item, so it's taking some time to load. All right, so now here is the thing, the cool thing. Here is the type. What type of the variable is this? What type of the variable is this? So the variable here, it could be a single line text. I mean, if you want to have a single line text, yes, definitely you can select for that one, the variable type. Or you got multi-line text, there's a numeric scale, there's a reference. Reference is a type of variable where you can reference to a different table. Let's say you have a sys underscore user table, which is all the records that are saved under the record under the users table. So you can get the name of a given individual or the name of a manager. That's called reference. So you're referring a different table from one table. Requested for, this is you requesting this item for someone. There is a rich text. There's a select box as well. The select box is basically like a choice. There is a single line, text, UI page, URL, okay, yes and no as well. All right. For me, I will start from label here. So the label is gonna give me like the name indicator label, right? Let's go ahead and give it a label. I'll say select the type of iPhone. Select the type of iPhone. Let's say. Now what I'm saying is the type of iPhone. Okay, let's make that one lowercase. Type of iPhone. Now here is the name. The name is the backend. So if I click here, it should automatically give me select underscore in lowercase. As you can see it right here, select underscore the underscore type underscore phone. Okay, that's iPhone. That's what I will have. But here is the thing. You can shorten the name if you would like, because select the iPhone type. I will just say select iPhone or type of iPhone. I'm just gonna say type of iPhone. Type of iPhone. So once I say type of iPhone, I can make it an order. So this is gonna be at the top. Usually you can use 10, 20, 40. Yeah, you can do that. The order and annotation, if you like to have annotation like more information, This is like the annotation is just the help tips. For example, what I would say here, iPhone type. Just say iPhone type. Then you can add instructions and so on, availability, where it is going to be available. Do you want to put it on the summary, visible on the summary? If you don't want, you can just uncheck over there. What I would do, I'm going to go ahead and right click here and I'll make save. Okay, the variable. I'll show you, the main topic of this video is tips and tricks, like in Service Catalog. So the first tips and tricks while you're creating your Service Catalog, I'm going to go ahead and show you that. So if you want to create your next variable, so we have the first variable here. Now instead of here the label, I'm just going to go ahead and check box. I will select a checkbox and now the iPhone. So the question type here, you have this question type. I'm just going to delete some of that here. I'll say iPhone 64 gigabyte. Okay, so I'll say here iPhone, all right, iPhone underscore 64 gigabyte. And now rest of the things are good. It is a checkbox. I'll show you what it looks like. Now instead of saving this, what I would do, I'm gonna say insert and stay. So it will automatically add for me. Look what will happen. Now I did insert and stay. What does that mean? Insert and stay. You have the record, the one that you have before. It will keep that one. Whatever you updated here, okay, it will create another, a different variable for you, and it will keep it for you. So now the order, since I want this one, the second from the tab, I will just make it 20. I'm going to go ahead and this time I'm going to go ahead and save. If I save, I'm just going to saving this record, which is the checkbox iPhone. And this iPhone, which is going to be under the catalog item called iPhone. Let's go ahead and do my third item. The third item again is a checkbox. I'm going to use the same checkbox, and here I'll give it to be 30, the third one, and iPhone 64, let's say white. All right, I'll say iPhone 64, let's go with black. Then underscore, you can say black. And again this time I'm going to go ahead and insert and stay. Awesome. So this is taking time to save. Then once it's saved, I'm just going to go ahead and update my record. Once I update, I'll show you directly what the items looks like. So let's go ahead and update again. All right, now you can see that there is try. Before that, let me scroll down a bit and it'll show you the three variables that we created. So we have the label at the top like there. Select the iPhone, select type of iPhone. There's a checkbox here, iPhone 64, and that's the order. So the order, the lower the number is gonna be at the top. Okay, the lower the number will be at the top, and the higher the number will be down, further down. Perfect. Now further, we can go ahead and create a variable set if you would like. There's a catalog UI policy. If you want to create a catalog UI policy, you don't need to create them anywhere. You can directly create on the cart item here, catalog UI policy. These UI policies are basically what they do is it is really helpful for you in order to make certain field visible or certain field read only, a certain field maybe you can make them mandatory. All those cool stuffs can be done easily using using your service catalog UI policy. If you go ahead and do catalog client script, this is also really easy. What you can do with the catalog UI, catalog client script is you can write your client scripts. These are client scripts are the script that run from the client side. So it's on the browser, so on the client side. So basically they consume a lot of band, so it's not highly recommended to use client script because you can use Ajax, so it can asynchronously run. And there is available for this is a new section available for and not available for. You can create that. These are basically helpful in your domain separation. So if you have domain separation in your ServiceNow, those are making that variable available or catalog item available in a certain. Awesome. And what else? There is category here, the catalogs and the related articles. So if you want to add any related, you can absolutely add it right there as well. And now let's go ahead and try this catalog item and we'll see what it looks like. So as you can see right here, this is what exactly we are looking. So this is iPhone SE, it say, and here is the title 64 gigabyte in black in color. So that is what the description. So that is the short description at the top or the name. And also this is a little longer description over here we have. And also that's what is the label looks like. Select the iPhone. Okay, that's the label we have. And for this label, we have two options over here to choose, which is option one is a check mark iPhone 64. You can select that. And the second one is the iPhone 64 gigabyte black in color. See, you can select one of or two of them. And if you would like, you can order quantity wise. You can add multiple quantities over here, and the delivery time is right there. It is shown. It's say 2 days, and you can order it or you can add it to the cart. So once I order this one or this catalog item, I don't have we didn't add yet processing engine, but as you can see right here, workflow kicks right after you add the item. Awesome. So now in the workflow, as you can see, the first stage is completed, which is waiting for approval. And if I go ahead and click and expand it right here, I can have a better understanding of what's going on here. So it's waiting for approval right there in assess or scope task is in progress. And the quantity in right there, since I don't have any price for it, so we're not going to be able to see it. Perfect. Now I'm going to take you back to the order, the item, which is iPhone SE. I'm going to click just the item directly. So as you can see, this is the requested item, the item that is requested. So this has a delivery plan status for iPhone SE. iPhone SE, that's the name. And access of the scope, right there you have 1 day expected to start today, and started and provide request service. Perfect. So that's a little bit of hint and tips and tricks regarding how we can better use this catalog item in our day-to-day activity. So catalogs are really simple and easy to create, and once you create them as well, they are really simple to use them. So you can just create a processing engine and you go from there. The next thing here is I'm going to show you is where can we find some of the tables. So this the main topic here is tips and tricks. So as you can see right here, this, the requested item, which is the item SC underscore REQ. Right there you have SC underscore. So in the browser you can see that SC underscore REQ item. REQ underscore item. So that is the table where you have. So what is ServiceNow? ServiceNow is cloud-based, right? So what everything is captured in ServiceNow is in table. And this requested item, the requested item is captured in a table called SC underscore REQ underscore item. So what I would do here under application navigator, I'm gonna put that SC underscore REQ underscore item dot, I can say new, or I can say list. So when I say list, it will give me a list of requested item. A list of requested item. Just hit enter and we will have all the requested item. Now that's the one we just requested. And if I want to request another one, I can just go ahead and click new. Okay. So these are all the requested item that I have. And they started with, the numbers start with a rhythm, RITM, and there is a number. So a short for requested item is RITM. RITM number, if you see an RITM number, that's a requested item. So whenever a request is selected or requested, that's the item you go ahead and see it. So this requested item, when it's requested, it doesn't require an approval. The state will be under approved. And there is a variable here. That's the variable that we just created. There's select the type of iPhone. iPhone 64, iPhone 64 gigabyte. So I didn't select any, but you can see it right there. If I want to add an additional comment here, this additional comment, as you can see in the bracket, it says customer visible. So whatever I write here, the customer will likely see it. Okay, it's visible to the customer and it's also visible to the employee as well. And this requested item will create a task. See, as you can see right here, there's a catalog task. So how can you get the catalog task? So the catalog task is stored under a table called SC underscore task. Let me go ahead and show you. So what I would do first, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate these so that we can have two. So once I duplicate, I'm going to go ahead and here write SC underscore task dot list. So this is a list of tasks that a service catalog has. SC stands for service catalog. Service catalog task. All the tasks that is related with a service catalog can be found using SC underscore task that list. If you click or hit enter, you will come up with all the tasks over here. So that's how you can easily find the catalog task associated with the service catalog and the requested item that you have, the items that's requested by the users or by the customers. And last but not least, there is another table where we have the request. Okay, before that, let's go ahead and see one of the tasks here. So the task, the number for the task is abbreviated as task, T-A-S-K. That's it, the catalog task is task. And then the first task, the assignment group is automatically assigned to procurement group. You can change it. Absolutely, you can change it. And that's what I say earlier, the reference field. So as you can see right here, this assignment group is a reference field. You can go ahead and click the magnifying glass and you can come up with multiple groups you can select with. And this I over here is a previewing a record. If you don't want to see the whole lot of the record, you can just click this one without going anywhere. It will open a model for you right here. You can go ahead and open. Oh, what is this group? Procurement. The name is procurement. Oh, it is responsible for ordering catalog items and moving them from inventory that are in stock. See? So that's what you will have with that additional I icon over there. The configuration item, if you have, there is also a reference, there is also a reference, and you can go ahead and open that. So this one it is automatically assigned to the procurement group. There is an approval, it's not yet requested, need to be requested, and the priority is set to for low. Okay, it is set to for low. Again, priority, the lower the number, the higher the priority will be. Priority, let's say if it is 1, it is critical, 2 is high, 3 is moderate, 4 is low, and 5 is just in the planning stage. So that's what we can see right there, and this one is low. And the state is open, okay? It starts from pending, open, work in progress. Once it's closed, it's gonna be closed, is either incomplete or complete or skipped, one of the three. All right, so that's the item you have, the requested item. Again, it's a reference field, and the requested for. Who is requesting? As you can see, I was the one requested, so requested for is for Muhammad Kamal. And here is the short description. The description, again, here we have the work note. So work note is not customer visible. And here you have a yellow and noting you that this is not customer visible and this is for the internal. It's just for us. And within the catalog task, we'll have an approvals. If there is any affected CI is primarily if there is any affected CI in your company. Affected CI in your company. Let's say in the service or in the CI that changed. Let's say within your catalog item, it is happening within. So you can pull a network and also route out of that. So anything that is affected within that network or within that the catalog item, you can basically find. So that what we call that is the affected CI. And the approvers, primarily who is going to approve this item. Who's going to approve is basically found under the approvals. Here now, since it's not automatically added, you can go ahead and edit it and add. If it is a group approver, you can go ahead and add group approval. Having said that, let's go ahead and see. I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can easily find. There is a third important table that we need to be familiar with to make ourselves familiarized with is the SSC underscore request table. SSC underscore request table. So this table, the SCC underscore request table, is primarily having all the requests that is submitted through the catalog item. So these are the requests. So if I want to go ahead and open one of the requests, again, this is the table. And if you want to know what the name of that table from the browser, you can just go at the top right there, SCC underscore request. You can see it. Maybe for now it's not quite visible, but that's how you can go ahead and look at it. There is a number again here, and for the number, it starts with REQ. The REQ number, that is a request that came originally submitted and requested for the year. If you add location, due date, and the price, which is read only, by using catalog client catalog UI policy, you can make fields read only, mandatory, all those cool stuff you can do. So requested item, here is a requested item. Perfect. Now another tips and trick here, whatever things you did here, you can go ahead and click your history button. Your history, you can go ahead and back to your variable. For example, I'm going to go ahead and back to the variable that we created here. I'm going to go ahead and open that. Awesome. So this is the variable that we have. That's a checkbox, the one we just created. So if I update again, I'll come back to the item. All right, let's go ahead and open the catalog item. We can go ahead and do a couple of things here. Let's go ahead and open and create one of the catalog UI policy. And if I click new to create a catalog UI policy within this catalog item, now this catalog item UI policy is similar to the standard UI policy. So it is similar to the standard UI policy that we have. So for example, if I come here, policy. So if you go to system UI, is UI policy here, and there is another service catalog UI policy. Okay, catalog UI policy, they specify when and how a field appear when viewing a catalog task, catalog item, or when you request it. And the system UI, it's UI policy. I'm gonna go ahead and open this UI policy. So if I go ahead and open a new UI policy, I'll definitely show you. First thing is you need to specify the table. Okay, this UI policy change the fields on the form based on a set of condition. So we can go ahead and apply some conditions to it. Okay, based on that condition, it will make change to the table, to the field within a given table. Could be like hiding a field or showing or making the fields mandatory or even read only. All those cool stuffs can easily be done using the UI policy. So you don't need to write a script, to make a field mandatory or to hide them or make them visible or make them available. All those cool stuffs can easily be done using the UI policy. And the UI policy specify it could be one or more actions to take when a policy is triggered. Now, the first thing is you need to select the table where is that gonna apply. Application, where the applications I am in, the customer service, and it's active. You're gonna put a short description right there, the order again, the hierarchy, how this is going to apply. The lower the number you put the first, it will occur. When to apply, this is you can add a condition here, a condition filter if you would like, and it's going to be on the global on load. On load means when the form load and when the user change value on the form. That's what on loads. Reverse if false. Say reverse if is false, and that's automatically selected. So what this means, it affects the UI policy action when that condition evaluate to false. All right, perfect. So that's what the normal UI policy looks like. Now let's go ahead and see. What looks like the catalog UI policy. Again, the catalog UI policy, it applies to a given catalog. So applies to a given catalog item. Okay, to the given catalog item, and that catalog item is right there, which is the iPhone, the one we just created, right? So we can write the short description. I would say, for example, make mandatory. I'll say make mandatory. So that's what I want to do. When to apply, here is the difference. We have a table there, but here we have it applies to catalog item, and that catalog item is iPhone. In the short description, I want to make it mandatory. And when to apply, that's up to me. When to apply, okay? I can specify a condition. When iPhone 64, okay, is true, which means when iPhone 64 is selected, I need to make another field mandatory. Okay, I need to know the color. So I will do that. And what I would do, like I showed you earlier, I'm just gonna save it. I'm not gonna submit it because I have to do a couple of things to it, which is I want to add a catalog UI policy action. The action, which is the catalog UI policy action, primarily what do you want to do? When this is true, which is iPhone 64 is selected, when that is true, what do you want to do? I want to make another field mandatory. So I'm going to go ahead and open this iPhone 64 black. Must be mandatory because that's the only I have. If somebody select iPhone 64, and it must be the black one, and I'll make the order right there, and I will make it mandatory to true. So here is another important piece we need to remember. With this, with the catalog UI policy, so you have the catalog item right there, and you also have the variable name. You're gonna select it in the order how the sequence is going to apply. So the action that takes on that specific variable. And the condition is specified in the UI policy determine when these actions are triggered. The action that going to trigger here is mandatory. It's gonna make it mandatory. And if I wanna make it visible, read only, all those could be done here. Now this time I'm gonna go ahead and submit it. Once I submit it, I'm gonna go ahead and update. Awesome. So now let's go ahead and open my variable, my catalog item, which is iPhone over here. So I'm coming again, tips and tricks through my history. I'm gonna go ahead and try it. As you can see right now, none of them are mandatory, but my catalog UI policy is gonna make it mandatory when I select the iPhone 64. Okay. It should have make the other one mandatory. So, but it's not. Now let's go ahead and again debug. So another important thing here is we need to debug whenever we are working just like this. Make mandatory. I'm gonna leave that. I don't want to save. Alright, so what this do is make mandatory. When iPhone 64 is true, that means when it is selected, okay, when that is selected, iPhone 64 black, mandatory will be true. So now, when it is true, is true, okay. But let's go ahead and remove this one. That means anytime I want to make it true, okay. Let's go ahead and update. Here we go. Select the type of iPhone. Now, select the type of iPhone. As you can see, I need to select because the level is mandatory for me. I need to select one of that. So under here, just gonna scroll up. Gonna go ahead and find my catalog UI policy. Custom item UI policy. Not that one. Just gonna scroll down here, the variable iPhone catalog item. Alright, so let's go ahead directly from this to the item that we have request. Let's go ahead and open the request. Alright, let's say item. So you have the service catalog. If you scroll item, you have the service catalog, items, maintain item. That's how you go. That's the one we have. The one it's a iPhone. Short description right there. So the catalog item make mandatory. So what this gonna right applies to? That's the most important thing. This is going to apply to a catalog item variable set. In catalog item is iPhone. Exactly. None of those. That is iPhone. and when this apply, okay, I'm gonna make iPhone that one mandatory. I'll make it mandatory, and for example, let's go ahead and add type of iPhone 64 black. Let's make it mandatory as well. Alright, now I make that. I want to update, so I can go ahead and enter. So these are a checkbox. Alright, we want to make these two checkbox mandatory, but for some reason our catalog, let's go ahead and open. So it's just making the label mandatory. So where am I catalog UI policy? Make mandatory. Let's go ahead and open it. I scroll down. I have name iPhone 64 black and making it mandatory. Let's go ahead and make it mandatory. Alright, mandatory, which is read only to true. And choose if iPhone is false. Alright, let's go ahead and update. I'll explain what I did here in a little bit. So when you select, you see right there the label. Label is at the top. So when I select this one, the select type of iPhone will be not required. The type of iPhone. So there's a tip and trick here. If you make a right click on top of this select iPhone, now when I select, it make that one not mandatory. So if I click, I'm just gonna leave. I wanna configure variable and see what is the name of the variable for that one, the label we have right there. Select the type of iPhone. Okay, type of iPhone. So that's the catalog item is iPhone. The question is type of iPhone. The name is type of iPhone. Now go back here to our variable. To our variable, we have that one. Alright, catalog UI policy. We can also make it, let's say we can also make read only mandatory. So when it is not checked, okay. So the other important piece, when we talk about the variable, I want to show you one of the variable when you are working in a global domain, in a domain that you have working. These variables are part of the global domain. So whatever the domain that you work, so it will be right there. Annotations, these are just a little bit of more information if you'd like to show. So you can have an annotation in your catalog item. Great. So that's all we have for today. Let's go ahead and wrap up the service catalog tips and tricks. Today we have created just simple catalog item about an iPhone, and based on that we have created a label. That's what we call it, a label. We make the label mandatory, and also here is the one of the variable that we created, that's called iPhone 64. There's another variable here, iPhone 64 black. It's a check mark, so a check box. These are called a check box. So from this video, I'm sure you go ahead and understand when you create variables, you can right click on the variable on the hamburger menu to insert a record that you created, to insert a record that you created. And also we have discussed some of the tables that capture our service catalog, the tables that are associated with the service catalog. So those are really important information that one need to know and related to the service catalog. So, and the other important thing, if you want to use a service catalog in ServiceNow, there are a number of things to remember, especially the name of the tables that we are using, and also an important piece is regarding the engine, the workflow engine, or if you don't want to use a workflow, you can use also a flow designer. That's another option that we have, especially now these days. Flow design is really cool, so that's what we call it, the processing engine. So under the processing engine, you have the flow and also the flow or the workflow. Flow or workflow. So you can create your own flow or the workflow, and the execution plan. If you want to have an execution plan, you can go ahead and add as variables. You can create the variables right there. The catalog UI policy. This catalog UI policy is basically same like the UI policy, the standard UI policy that we have. But what makes them different is this UI policy is basically working on your catalog item within a specific variable to make them read-only, mandatory, visible, or you can also hide them based on another field. And the other important piece with the catalog task, we have an activity that creates a service catalog task record. And that activity is only available when the workflow runs on the table that extend the task. So if you go to some of the table that we discussed is SCREQ underscore item. This is the requested item, and this is available only for the workflow running on the catalog request item. And the task activity runs the user whose actions complete the task flows and are waiting for the users. Now awesome. So, those are some of the pieces that we can remember, we can work with when we work with the service catalog item. I'm just going to check the community if there is any question so we can answer. One of the question it say here is the difference between catalog task and task. Okay, there's a question asking the difference between catalog task and task. I'm gonna go ahead and paste that one for you guys over here so we can be able to answer it. Let's go ahead and open that. This is from the community. It is yes, what is the difference between the catalog task? Let's go ahead and close that. The difference between the catalog task and task. Very good question. So it's a little bit tricky and confusing, right? The catalog task and task. So this catalog, which is the service catalog, now I'm gonna take you to the catalog item first. Okay, this is an item that I have, the catalog item that I have. This catalog item, when I request that catalog item, a request will be created, right? A request will be created. And this request will have a requested item, the item that is requested, or RITIM, R-I-T-I-M. And if I open this requested item, what is really important, the requested item. And if you scroll down with the requested item, you will have the catalog task, So the difference between the standard task and catalog task, that task is a base table. Okay, the task that we have in ServiceNow is a base table with many common fields used by the incident, problem, change, and so on. Okay, now let's go ahead and duplicate this and I'll show you what I am saying. So I'm going to go ahead and open here task. Like I said, one of the tips is task.list. So that's a table called task. I'm going to go ahead and open that table by just saying task.list. Now let's go ahead and open. You see, what type of task would you like to create? That's what I am just saying. You have different types of tasks. Now, if we see here, see, there's change request, there's catalog task. So you are comparing a task with a catalog task. So catalog task is one of the type of tasks that we have under the task. What type of task would you like to create? ServiceNow is asking you the type of the task that you want to create. So if you want to create, for example, a catalog task, you can just go ahead and click catalog task and you can create. There's a demand here, a demand task. There's a demand task right there. There's an epic. Epic means a story. When you create your story, you have your epic. So you can create your epic right there. There's an HR task, human resource task. You see how many tasks, different types of tasks we have? So this task table is a base table. We have a story right there. And if you open this story, now you can create a story task. Now I'm just go ahead and open it. This is a story. Story is also referring the base table task. Now you have the number, the future, the safe sprint, there's a point, a short description, and some people may not understand that a story is coming from the task as well. It is a type of task. Like I said, if I say new, it will ask me directly what type of task would you like to create. And if I say catalog task, that's what we are comparing. This is the it's a different kind of table now. So the view is different. Now if I go ahead here and see configure and also all right, so the dictionary notification, so you can configure it. You can see the client script, the business rules. Now if I say all within this catalog task, you can see all the things that you have within this catalog item, within the catalog task. You have 51 business rules to make that table looks like that. There's a client script here, 8 client script, like modifying the work notes, hiding a related list. There's a dictionary entry. There's a dictionary entry override, notifications, the UI actions. You see all the buttons that you can see. The access controls, the UI policies. See, all those good stuffs are found within this catalog task. So now to answer the question, what is the difference between a task and catalog task? So we make sure that task, okay, task is a base table. So this task, okay, this task is a base table that have many different tables that extend from it. Okay, could be like, as you can see right here, there is incident, agile, all those are extending from here, including catalog task as well. So catalog task is an extension which you get fields like some of the fields that we get from the task is like state, assignment group, etc. These are the fields that we get from the task table. So for free, and it also have a few fields of its own specific to the catalog task management. So what makes them different is that the task table is a base table, whereas the catalog task, as you can see right here, when I open it, there are some fields that came, like the state. If I open right here, I have pending, open, work in progress, closed. These are the state field that came directly. The assignment groups also came from the task table. Yep, these are the assignment group that we have. You can open it and see what assignment that you have. So I'm gonna go ahead and check again if there is any other question that we can answer from the community before we close this session. Great, I think these are some of the questions that we got from the community and we answered. My name is Muhammad Rashid Kamar. Really appreciate for joining here. the ServiceNow Star tips and tricks. It's almost an hour now. Want to say appreciate for your time joining us until we see each other the next episode. My name is Mohammed Rashid Kamal, and make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and also share this video with the people that you like. So thank you, have a great day, and bye bye.